Hi everyone, welcome into Watch Me Wednesday, episode number 51. Do you believe it? There's 52 weeks in a year, but I've been doing this over a year because there are some weeks that I'm not here. So this is week number 51. I'm glad you all could come in and join me. Nice to see you all. Hey there, how are you? Welcome on in to episode number 51 of Watch Me Wednesday. I've got some cool things that I wanted to show you today. Hey Linda, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome in everybody. Hit that share button. I've got some cool things to show you today. Since I was away last week. Hey Lisa, how are you? I was away last week, as many of you know. I was in Montana. Hey Pam, how are you? While I was in Montana, I was there for a Certified Instructor's retreat at Quiltworx, which is Judy Niemeyer's business. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what I did there last week and what a certified instructor and a certified shop is too. So I have some things to show you from last week. I did, I don't know if any of you joined me. I think some of you did join me. I did an impromptu Facebook Live last Friday where I went around the room that I was in at the Certified Instructor's Retreat and I showed you what we were all working on. Everybody had different, thank you for all the love. Hey Kyra, hey Jean, hi Sue. So you kind of got to see different instructors and their different versions. Hey Linda, how are you? Of the new technique of the month. That's going to be released in January of 2019. So the first thing I wanted to show you is, if you've been following my page, you saw that while I was away, I had sent my technique of the month that's going to be on one of the cover sheets, and I also got to see the cover sheet, which is cool. They just have to plop my picture in there, or not my picture, but the quilt's picture. While I was gone, my friend Margaret Gunn, who quilted this quilt for me, finished it, sent me pictures, and I posted them on the page. So if you didn't see them, you got to go back and look because they are fantastic. They're phenomenal. I do have the quilt with me behind here. Okay, Sue says she can't wait for the technique of the month. You're gonna love it, Sue. I have the quilt right here. I'm going to kind of lift it up and show you. It's going to be kind of hard because we're so close, but this is my version that I completed and Margaret sewed. Thank you, Linda. I love it too. It's my colors. So this is my fabric line, which will also be coming out in January. So if you want it in this colorway, I will have kits. But I want to see if I can get up close and personal because Margaret did some phenomenal quilting. So can you see those feathers in there? And you can kind of see my fabric too. So you're getting a sneak peek of my fabric that I'm going to be launching in October at Quilt Market. So this is, I have many more colors in the line, but we chose the pink and the grays for the cover sheet. Thank you. And you can see, of course, it is cat themed. So with that in mind, you'll see lots of cool things. So let me see if I can get some other close-ups of. So here is one of the, let's see if I can get this. Can you see those petals there? Oops, it's so hard to do this. There we go. Can you see the petals? She did some awesome quilting. And then the very interior, look at that. Can you see that? Isn't that phenomenal? Margaret did a great job, but I put some really cool pictures up. Wonder how your dogs will feel about that, Linda. I don't know. They might like it. It's a kid, you know, it's a whole kitty thing. They like cats, right? So this is what, let me just put this back. So that is what I got done. So yes, Carmen, it is the giant dahlia pattern. It's called the Dinner Plate Dahlia, and it'll be released in January. Yeah, Margaret did a great job. Hey, Laura, how are you? So let me tell you a little bit about the pattern. certified instructors and certified shops, and how that all plays into how you can go about getting the pattern, making it as a kit if you want it, etc. So we as certified Quiltworx instructors, I don't know how many of you know, but I am a certified Quiltworx instructor. Quiltworx, if you're not familiar with Quiltworx, with an X, not my business. My business is Canton Village Quiltworx with a KS. Quiltworx with an X is Judy Niemeyer's business. She is the designer and the brains behind the pattern that I just showed you, the dinner plate dahlia. The dinner plate dahlia is her technique of the month, which she puts out a new technique of the month every 2 years. As a certified instructor, we are the only ones who can teach it, and or a certified shop. So you have to, if you want to take a class, you have to take it from a certified instructor like me or a certified shop like me. I am both a certified shop and a certified instructor. When I was at the retreat, I was working on the queen size version, and I am actually doing the queen size, which is definitely bigger. The quilt behind me is 80 by 80, or maybe it's 85 by 85. I can't remember. This one, I think, works out to about 99 by 99, something like that. But a lot of you might want to know how I became a certified instructor. So I'll try and make this story really short. But back in the late 90s, I first spotted one of Judy's very early on patterns back in the late 90s. And I was very intrigued. There was nothing like it on the market. And I actually was out in Montana. That's how I saw it. I was stopped at the Quilt Gallery, which was there. Who is in Michigan to teach? I'm going to get to that, Betty. So hang on to that question. I'll get back to that. So when I saw her patterns, I wanted to learn how to make them, but I thought they were a little too complex for me. So when I was a member of my quilt guild back in Connecticut, I was a program chair, and I actually had her come out to our guild in 2003, and that's when I took my first class with Judy, and I was hooked. She didn't start certification program until a little bit later, and the first round of certified instructors, I was not in that. I was in the second round. We were talking about that this past weekend while I was at the retreat. I became a certified instructor with her in 2011, and I've been teaching her things ever since. But the beauty of being a certified instructor is all the certified instructors work super, super hard, invest a lot of time and money in learning Judy's techniques. And yes, we do have to go out to Montana periodically, usually every couple of years, to learn new techniques. We do meetings, but to be a certified instructor, I've had to have made so many of her quilts. I've had to been teaching quilting. I had to have recommendations. There's a whole slew of things. So there's a lot of time, money, and effort involved in it. And in the end, we are bringing Judy to you, students, and we are teaching her method to you, teaching you about her patterns, how to read them, how to bag them, how to cut them, how to put them together, just as if she were there. So that's how I became a certified instructor. I also became a certified shop as well. Now, many of you know I am online only. So if you want to make the dinner plate dahlia, so like I said, this pattern will not be out until January. Okay, now I do have 2 classes already scheduled. One, I am going out to Connecticut. I teach yearly there, a boot camp. That class is actually already full. So it's a 3-day boot camp from students who join that class are pretty much Judy aficionados. So we go at a fast pace. That class is already booked. Then I do have a class here where I'm teaching. It will be starting in March at the Bernina Connection in Phoenix. So if you are interested in taking that class, you certainly can give them a call. They will let you in on the details. I know their newsletter is soon to go out, I think in the next couple weeks, with the dates and times. You can also check my schedule on my website for that class and future classes as well. If you just go to my website, and I'll put a link to it above me when I'm done. And of course, if any of you, I travel to teach. If any of you want me to come teach, you can contact me via email and I will respond. Now, getting to the question of how do I get the pattern if I don't have a place to take a class. So you can actually purchase the pattern from a certified shop like me. I've already ordered in the patterns. I will be having the patterns available as soon as they are shipped in January. So if you can't take a class and you want to do this on your own, you can order it from me. So that's how you can get it. Now, and back to Betty's question, who in Michigan is certified to teach? So there's lots of us who travel, so including myself. So if there's nobody in Michigan that will teach it, you can always contact somebody like me. We can arrange to come to a shop or a guild, etc., to teach it. But if you want to know who is in your area, you go to Quiltworks' website. It's quiltworx.com, and you can go there and you can just hit at the there's a button at the top where you can hover over, and it says Certified Instructors US. And then it breaks it down by region. So you can see who's available in your region, where you might have the closest class, okay? So that's about certified instructors and certified shops. So now I want to show you some cool stuff because I know you want to look, you like show and tell. So hit that share button. So yeah, you're welcome, Betty, very much so. So the dinner plate dahlia, I don't know if you saw yesterday, I was posting, I like to embroider my labels, and I do it on my Designer Epic. Now, I will tell you, I love how the label came out, but I have to say, and I hope that you guys learn from my mistake, I didn't choose a light enough fabric to embroider it on. So here's my label. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't choose a light enough. I either didn't choose a light enough fabric or a dark enough thread so that when it embroidered out, you could actually see the words. So here's my label. You can kind of see I did it in this hot pink color, and this is another sneak peek, by the way, of my fabrics. The dahlia came out beautiful in the embroidery, but you can see the lettering is not as bold as I'd like it to be. But you can see if you go, I did a post yesterday and I took a picture of the actual label on the where I did it in the computer first before I brought it over to the machine. So the label is ready to go. We just have to put it on the quilt, bind it, and then it's done. It'll go get photography for the cover sheet. So I wanted to show you too. So yeah, I showed you the quilt. Hey Janet, how are you? Here is the mock-up that was done in Quiltster. So it looks exactly like that. What's Quiltster, you say? Well, Quiltster is a program. It's a coloring program, basically, for quilts. For what font did I use? Betty Jane is asking. The font I used, I believe, was a script font. I don't know off the top of my head. I can go back into the program and take a look and get back to you on that. I'm not quite sure. But Quiltster is basically a coloring program that has patterns in there from Judy Niemeyer. Some of my patterns are in there. I think there's probably about 12 of my designs in there now. So you can go in. There's other designers in there too. You can go into that program. It's an application you can use on your computer, your phone, your tablet to see what your quilt is going to look like before you actually make the quilt. And it does come out just like that. But the cool thing is that when you do it, it spits out exactly how much yardage that you need for your quilt, okay? So you get these pages and it tells you where to place those fabrics in your quilt. So it's a cool program. You can use your own fabrics too. You can take a photo of your fabrics and upload them, or you can, I think she said they have 33,000 fabrics in their database right now from the various manufacturers. Plus they have my fabric in there, which is awesome. So when I wanted to do the queen size that I showed you, the K-facet queen size, I mocked that up in Quiltster in the colors that I wanted to do. These are all with K-facet classics, and yes, they are all in Quiltster. So I mocked it up, and let me show you. So this is what we were up to last week. So if you saw my little impromptu video, you got to see some of my quilts in progress. I'm not nearly done, but this is these are the center, actually this is gonna go like this. So you can see, this is the very center of the quilt. So let me show you the Quiltster image again. So if you can see the center here, the very, whoops, where am I? There, it's got a kind of a glare on it. See the center? Okay, that is a quarter of the center. Isn't that cool? I really, really love how that's coming out. Now, you wanna see the next round. So this is the group A, and then I've got group B. Look at group B. Isn't that beautiful? I love how that's coming out in the K-facet. So let me take it out of the bag so you don't get a glare. But I just love using spots and dots and all. But this is group B. Okay, isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it. It's happy, happy, happy. But you can see some of the paper still in the back because I haven't gotten yet to join the units, and I will be taking them off as I go along. But that's the group B unit, so that's the next round out from the center. Thank you, Linda. I love it too. Thank you, Lynn. Then let me show you the next round. So we go in rounds. So if you kind of look at the quilt, you've got the center right here, and then you've got the next round, which I just showed you, the B. So I'm doing this all backwards because when I'm looking at the camera, it's kind of weird. Sorry. So I just showed you the B unit, okay? And now I'm going to show you the next round, okay? So the next round is the D unit. So I started making these, okay? So this is the D1 unit. Isn't that pretty? Okay? And then I'm in the process of making these. I call them the crown. Isn't that cool? So there's that little pop of green. I'm almost done here. I got a few more to go on there. Then I made, so these are all, these all go together so beautifully once they're done. That's the beauty of paper piecing, is that you can do things in paper piecing that you can't necessarily do in traditional piecing, which is really cool. So then I also got done my little Lone Star units. So, and I made them look, so you can see I kind of made them look like a border. So I've got the orange, and then I've got this funky print. These are K-facet artisan, and then I got this pink. So my Lone Stars are really cool looking. And then I've got this unit complete. So I've got, oh, you want to try? Awesome, Linda. There's some good patterns to try if you want to try paper piecing. Hey, Julie, how are you? You can always try, I have a few that are super duper easy paper piecing patterns that you can try, and I can list them up above me when I'm done. You can go check them out on my website, or you can try some super easy Judy Niemeyer ones too, and I can list the link to the Judy Niemeyer patterns as well. I also have a Craftsy class, 2 Craftsy classes actually, that have paper piecing. One of them is a Judy Niemeyer. It's called Paper Piecing the Quiltworx Dresden Plate, and a lot of people take that as a springboard to doing one of the more difficult patterns because it helps them learn the techniques. Hey, Buffy. Then the other Craftsy class that I have is a Contemporary Curves wedding ring, double wedding ring quilt, so you can learn to paper piece there too. So there's lots of ways you can do it if you don't have a place to go. So, thank you, Betty. I have tons of patterns. I'll put the link above me as soon as I'm done. Well, it'll be like 5 minutes after I'm done, but I'll put the link above me. So that's kind of what I was up to last week. It was fantastic being able to get to start my second one, actually. Oh, I'm glad you're in the Craftsy class, Lynn. I'm so glad. Were you in the Quiltworx one, or were you in the Contemporary Curves, or both? But when we, thank you, Buffy. I'm so glad you were in the Craftsy class. I knew you were because you brought your finished project to the class I taught you in, which was cool. So when we go to these retreats up in Montana with Judy, we learn so much on how she wants this taught to you, and gives us little tips and techniques, and we actually all learn from each other. But the cool thing is, actually, let me see if I can show you. So we don't get, a lot of people ask me, well, how do you get them, you know, how do you do it? I call them, at this point, we don't have actual instructions because I told you this pattern isn't coming out till January. I get the IKEA version. Okay, so if you've ever put IKEA version or IKEA furniture together, you know how it's all graphics and it tells you how to put something together. I actually kind of love it, to be honest with you, because sometimes, depending on what kind of person you are, if you're a very visual person, you might get lost in some of those words. So when you look at this, it shows us what we need to cut, how many strips, where we put our templates, and then it shows you here how the process of how to put that centerpiece together. Super duper straight to the point. But the disadvantage of that is, oh, Buffy loves, yes, I call them IKEA instructions. The disadvantage of this is that you don't get any of that, those little tips and things that she might throw in there in the instructions. But for us, we have to know what she wants because we've been training so hard for so long. So we kind of get this and we just go to town, which I kind of like. And then while we're there, she does multiple demonstrations for us, and she offers us tips and instructions on the construction where we might have thought, oh, well, this should go together like this, but it really does a different way. So it's kind of cool. I know Kyra hung her Craftsy class project this weekend. I saw it. I loved how you did it above your TV. It looks awesome. So that's kind of how we learn, especially for the Technique of the Month class. So I hope to really see you, any of you, in some of my classes that I will be teaching in the upcoming year. Yes, I am scheduled through the year and scheduling into 2020. If you would like to have me come to your area, to your quilt shop, or to your guild, have them get in touch with me through my email. I would appreciate that. I will put the link to my schedule. I'll also put a link to how you can contact me for either a lecture or workshop, etc. But I also need to tell you something too. So I have to tell you, this is like my busy time of the year because I'm getting ready for Quilt Market so that I can show off my new fabric line. So I'm super duper busy, and I will be away again next week. Yes, I'm away again. And I apologize because I know it interrupts the flow of the Watch Me Wednesdays. But I will tell you this time, can you tell me how you organize the pattern in a binder? Laura, that's a great question. So I'll backtrack and then I'll get back to where I was just telling you. So when I get a Judy Niemeyer pattern, actually, there's one sitting right here. So this is a new one that I just got, and it's going to be in the shop online probably by the end of today, so you can purchase it. It's one of her newest releases, Succulent Jade. So when you get one of Judy Niemeyer's patterns, it comes with all the papers in it, just like the Technique of the Month will come, okay? And what I do is I take the cover sheet out, and I put the cover sheet here, so I know what pattern it is. Then I take the pattern out, and I open it up to the very center, and then what I do is I just take a ruler, a rotary ruler, put it there, and take my rotary cutter and slice it down the middle. And then I have individual pages, and then all I do with those individual pages, because they are double-sided, hey Judy, they are double-sided, right? So I just take a sheet protector, right? Let me see, here's one. Sheet protector, and then you can see the pattern from both sides. And then it's nice and organized for you, so you don't have to keep finding your pattern and trying to flip the page. You can also write on the the sleeves. You can put little post-it notes, so it's kind of nice. We will be here whenever you have the time. Thank you, Linda. I will be here too when I have the time, for sure. Hey, Jenny, how are you? You're welcome, Laura. So that is how I organize my pattern in there. And then, of course, you've got your papers that you're going to cut out. So I am going to be planning on doing, hopefully in December, we are going to be doing a new quilt along, which I told you about, and I'm going to be posting that in the quilt alongs group. But hopefully in December, I'm going to do a few more tutorial videos that are going to be separate from my live videos that I will edit, which is really kind of cool. Hey, everyone. So I've had a few requests for certain techniques that I'm going to do little videos for that will then live on my YouTube channel. So watch out for those. But anyway, so next week, remember, I won't be here. I am going to actually unplug. I need a little bit of R&R before I gear up for Quilt Market, which I'm actually gearing up for now. It's 2 months away, people. Oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. But I need just a little time for myself. I just need just a little bit of time. So I'm going to give it to myself next week. And so I won't be here next Wednesday, but I will be the following Wednesday. And yes, you'll see posts from me, etc. So I won't be totally, out of there. I'm hoping to schedule some posts so that you can see some things as I go on. That's right. Everyone needs a break, right, Betty? We all do. But I really appreciate you joining me today. And it was kind of fun to show you what I was working on last week. And again, if you didn't see the video that I did last week, I'll put a little link above it. It is on the Facebook page, so you can see it there. It's a cool little link. You can see, I took you around the room that we were in, and you can see all the certified instructors working on their projects for the week. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, listen, you guys have a fantastic time this coming week. In my absence. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you get lots of stuff done. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for the love, guys. It's great to see you, and have a fabulous, fabulous week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.